Welcome back. This is Shock Talk, and I'm Camille.
And I'm Gretchen. What are we talking about?
I kind of want to talk about, holidays coming up here and how to handle your family, because it is an intense emotional time of year for everybody. I know, because I'm busy. I was here till 10 o'clock last night dealing with family, and
Right.
not my own family, but people having family drama, because they're finally around each other again all year long. And then just continue on, I think really how to be healthy inside of a relationship with other people.
Yeah, and I think too, you're integrating families together. So
Finding
you've got,
families, yeah.
well, you've got, maybe the female side has her traditions that she grew up with, and then, and then you have the male side, and now it's the year to go to that family, and what do you do about those? There's just a lot of things that I think people get hung up on.
Yeah.
That maybe should let go.
Well, look, here's the recipe for getting upset, okay? Upset 101 is, if you have an expectation, you're probably going to get upset because it's not going to be met. So unfilled expectations are at the root of everyone getting upset. That's just the facts, okay? So, and by the way, there's a big build up at the end of the year because we did Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving, now we're headed for Christmas. So there's pressure cooker time because there's an expectation, and we put it on ourselves. I don't think it's always that, and maybe wives put expectations on husband, they better get the tree and get the lights up and perform, and where's the money for the gifts? So there's probably expectations of plenty going around, but we also expect ourselves to be perfect and to do things just right. Getting enough money, buying the kids what they need and they want, the new gadget, I do think, though, that the pressure cooker time is all around expecting way too much out of ourselves and other people.
Well, I think, too, you can also open that up to, okay, Aunt so-and-so or mother-in-law so-and-so is going to be coming and staying with me for a week. I can't stand her. How am I going to handle that?
I'm going to get through that. Well, without Valium, without a prescription of Valium.
No, but you know what? You get people that go, I can't stand that person, and now I've got to act like I'm happy. I got to be around them. How many movies are made about these scenarios that we're talking about? What's your advice on, because the truth is, you're not going to change Aunt Sally. You're not going to change them. They're going to come, and they're going to stay, and they're going to be part of Christmas and a part of tradition or whatever it is. Yeah.
And it's either, look, because we know we're not changing other people, all you really have control over is you. And I think prior to their arrival, you decide that you're going to manage your reactions and you're going to have some proactivity on yourself. So proactivity means that you choose your response. So when, there is a moment could come because it's happened before, and what do we all say in our heads? Well, that must never happen again. I cannot go through that again. And by the way, we live our lives living to make sure things never happen again. So then, how small does our world get, right? Because we're living on resistance mode. We can't ever go through that experience again.
Right.
Silly. But you have to look at, how am I going to respond if this person says this to me like last year? Or to prevent a fight, how am I going to handle it? Know your answers. Know how you're going to deal with the trouble coming, if there is trouble coming. And then try to stay right here, right now in the moment. If you're present and you're observant, I call it be in observe mode and see what's really happening in the space. Maybe that person's had a year since they've seen you and they've rethought things and they don't want to have bad experience either. Maybe they're going through the same kind of thing you are. We don't know, but you aren't going to know unless you're really pulled back, neutral, and observing, just going, I'm going to roll with what happens. And no matter what, if it gets this heated, I have an out. Have a net. Y'all have a safety net. You can leave and prepare your family.
Tequila.
That might be Gretchen's. Todd, what's your safety net? Go for a drive. What's your safety net, Todd?
I go to Home Depot or say I need to go get something.
And they are open on Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
7-Eleven's open on Christmas Day. If you just have to get out of the house,
I got to
guys.
run an errand.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get that thing for the stuff.
For the
Whatever.
thing.
Yeah, to get that.
For the kids.
Or we won't have the thing, and I gotta
Batteries.
go get the thing.
Always need batteries.
Right.
I
very
remember
good.
when my kids were little, I remember always being on the defense because my mother-in-law at the time, I never was the good parent. I didn't parent right. I didn't cook the gravy right. This was in my home. And it was so hard for me to go, I'm so excited about the holidays, knowing that she wasn't a bad person. She just was set in her ways.
Well, yeah, and she was opinionated about you.
Everything.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I had to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to look past this and I'm going to look in the living room and see my children playing and having fun. And that's when I'm going to realize this is why we do what we do.
That's your focus, yeah. Well, and again, this too shall pass. It's usually a temporary moment in time.
Right.
But it really is a matter of self-control and self-discipline and choosing to proactively respond. If we're reactive, it doesn't go well at all. I can't tell
It
you
never
how-
will.
No,
Yeah.
no. Well, and again, we aren't going to change anybody. We never do change anybody. We may have influence on people, but we don't change them. And, you know, people, life occurs for them a certain way, and life occurs for you a certain way. So it's occurring for them radically different than it's occurring for you. So, and we aren't responsible, you know, for how it occurs over there. So I say something, and it lands on my kids a certain way, or my in-laws a certain way, whatever, and I need to look and see how my communication landed over there. It isn't just to spew out communication and then I said my piece, and no, you need to look at, are you getting through? Did they receive the communication? Do they know what you're really saying? You know, and that's how communication really works. There's a translation issue most of the time. I have clients in here all day long, and I have for 20 plus years. And I'll tell you, my relationship issue number one, you know, advice is listen. Okay, people do not listen. You have this already always idea that you know what they're going to say. It's like Memorex in your brain. Well, no, I've been with him for 20 years. I know exactly what he's going to think about that. I know exactly what she's going to say about that. So we give up trying. We give up even trying to, you know, to initiate anything. We have it that we have it all figured out. So then we quit. We quit on the relationship. And when I sit people down, you know, I'm looking at, okay, where's that dynamic going on? Okay, because that's when people feel completely invalidated, and we are holding our partner down in their past. Well, you responded that way then, so you're going to do it again, and I know you will.
Yeah.
Well, how's that going to work?
We talked about that a couple times ago. There's nothing that infuriates me more is when people tell me how I think and feel when I don't.
Right.
It's one thing to go like, I know you really care about your kids. Yes,
Well,
you do. It's another thing to go, I know you, and right now you're thinking this. No, you don't know me, and no, that's not true. Here's my question to you. Okay, let's say a family member's going to come over. And you know from the past, they're going to say things like, oh, is that how you make your sweet potato casserole? Huh. I would make it. But okay, it's your house. We'll do whatever you want to do. Yeah. Those little digs.
Passive aggressive
right?
way. Yeah.
So you know that's coming.
Yeah.
What do you do to go like, this is going to be merry and bright?
Well, it ain't going to be merry and bright. But here's what I do, okay, for me. You know, I'm someone that's really hard to dominate. You know, I can't
Shocking.
be guilt. Yeah, I know, right? I can't be guilt tripped and I can't be dominated. So if I see that hammer coming and someone's trying to dominate me or make me wrong or, you know, passive aggressively put me down for my sweet potato casserole, you know, I'm going to say, that's right. I'm adding marshmallows. I'm making that shit fattening. That's right. And I got to roll here and roll there. I'm going to make more of it. I'm going to add a little spice to it. And I'm going to call it out. Like if I see dynamics happening and so people in my space around the holidays, I'm like, you're over there sulking. You're over there pounding. You're making everybody else wrong. Get over here. You know, I will call people out on their crap. But that's me, okay?
Well, could you just say, you know what? Why don't we do this? I noticed last year you didn't like my recipe. So how about you make yours?
Yeah, bring your own.
And anybody else can enjoy however you make it. I'm going to go ahead and keep mine the way it is, and we'll just have two.
You can.
You call them at their game for crying out loud.
That's exactly right. See, the whole premise is, though, again, I'm choosing my response. I already know how I'm going to respond to people, you know, power playing me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, look, human beings, we are in a fight for power on this planet. Let's not make any bones about it. People dominate other people. That is, you know, relationship 101 as well. How to not be dominated by your partner, your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend. You can't let the guilt trips work on you. If someone's, you know, saying things for an effect to get you to react a certain way, well, you did this to me, you know, okay, you know, if you did genuinely look at it and say, maybe I did, I'll clean that up. But if you clean it up and they say to you, well, yeah, you're doing this and this, no matter what you do, you can't win. That person's dominating you. They're trying to get you under them to work for them, to get you working for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To make them, you know, like they want to manipulate you. That's manipulation.
Right.
And to me, I even smell that, and I'm just like, ooh. And I just kind of walk away.
Oh, I have pictures of Camille going, I'm going to add more marshmallows to my sweet potato casserole.
gonna-
You know, I got to the point I remember thinking, because it's not that anybody's a bad person, but when you have numerous amounts of people
There are bad
coming over and they're all in one room, and you've got a lot of personalities, a lot of dynamics
yes.
going on. I remember I always kept thinking, what are my children going to remember from this event? Are they going to remember adults
Good point.
bickering, or are they going to remember traditions, and this was fun, and this was fun? And
point.
if I have to let things go, if I have to, I mean, because here's just the case in point. I can't stand anything on my countertops that's not decorative, right? So when somebody comes to town and they would leave like their cups and everything, that their food from traveling in the car, and it was all left out, I had to just go, it is just for a few days.
It's just for a few hours.
It's just for a little bit.
It cleans up.
Right? I'm not, I don't need to be committed over this. I'm just, but I had to tell myself that. Like, it's like you said, you have to get into preparing what's going to happen.
Prepare yourself for what could happen. Because the last thing you want to do is lose control, lose your temper, make a fool of yourself, or say something you're going to regret. I mean,
yeah.
for 24 hours when the family's there, you really probably can have control over your reactions. I believe you can.
Or just eat. If you just keep eating, you don't have to talk.
And if your food, if your cooking is not good enough or it's going to be criticized, maybe we eat out. Maybe you save money all year long and you take the family down to, one of Little America or something,
Yeah.
And you have the feast down there. There are places to go, or you go to someone else's place. So I'm always, again, if it doesn't work for you, we can do it this way.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that my former sister-in-laws, I still have Christmas Eve with them because of my kids, and
Nice.
and they're really, really sweet. And the host, the gal who's having it at her house, she said, you know what, I want to do the traditional Christmas dinner for Christmas Eve because it'll be easier for me the next day. And she's got a handful of little kids, and I thought, so what?
Fair
Who
enough.
cares?
Fair.
Who cares, right?
Right.
And the thing is if people, which nobody has, so don't think I'm putting this, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if people get mad over the menu,
Yeah.
A, don't go. B, bring what you want so you can have it.
Eat before you get there, so you're not even hungry.
Right? I just think people, especially during the holidays, when you try so hard to take control over a situation, are you really getting what you're supposed to be? I mean,
The Christmas spirit is, just the whole term Christmas spirit, is that generosity of spirit where you allow people freedom to be themselves.
yeah, and even if that means they're a bitch.
Curmudgeon-y and all. Even if they're curmudgeon-y. Y'all are going to have some vocabulary lessons. What does that mean for curmudgeon-y?
I'm going to have to research that.
Respond to my question. What does curmudgeon-y mean? And describe it. So you
Is
can
that
send
from one
in
of
our
your
comments.
books over there?
I do read. I'm a reader. I'm an avid reader. I love the Oprah book list. I'm a fan. Love, love, love that stuff. So you bet I probably collect them all.
All right, real quick, wrapping up. What is your psychic prediction for what's happening December 2017 around the holidays?
We are in a Mercury retrograde, which things are snafu-y with travel plans.
Snafu-y.
Yeah, there's some snafus. There's delays.
No, I've heard that word.
We could have weather concerns and delays. When Mercury retrogrades, you kind of have just all sorts of things go, wacky with computers or with travel or with communication. So know that right before the holidays we have some things happening. But it doesn't look like it's a horrible Christmas for most people. I think we're going to have a pretty, basic, financially successful. Online shopping is at its high.
Right.
So I do think people are going to
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. I do think people are going to have a pretty good year. I will tell you, I do have a little concern about Earth crises coming up in the 2018 era. I'm thinking earthquakes, just so you know.
Where?
I feel like it's going to be other countries. I think the United States is going to get hit a little bit, but I do have a concern we have some earthquakes that are going to go on even more than normal. We have earthquakes all the time, y'all, but I just feel like there's an Earth crisis coming this next year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Travel okay for people?
Traveling's going to be a little dicey. I will be honest. Holiday travel is going to be a little dicey. So
What does
that's
that
it feels
mean?
like. Snowy roads, difficult getting there, delayed trips.
Well, that's just every year, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna. I think that's going to happen for sure this year.
Yeah.
But I don't see huge terrorist things like that going on.
Okay.
So I think we're going to be okay.
Cool.
Yeah, they'll be foiled if they're tried. So y'all contact us.
Foiled if they're tried.
Yeah, they'll be foiled.
There's all kinds of language going on here.
Yeah, she's learning some new words.
I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but there's all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, like Camille was saying, subscribe, like, share our stuff. Go on to YouTube. We have tons of things. Some things are really important that we talk about, and some things just aren't, but they're fun.
Yeah, we just have a good time.
They're just fun. Shock, talking, that's what it is. We talk about things that make you go, oh,
Yes. So
They just said that.
shocktalking.com on YouTube. Facebook is Shock Talking with Gretchen and Camille. And then we have shocktalking.com.
Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're there.
Yep.
See you next time, everybody.